Trent Johnston leaned back in his chair, the quiet hum of the house around him a peaceful contrast to the whirlwind of thoughts in his mind. His gaze drifted toward the window, but his thoughts were far from the calm suburban view outside. He was thinking of his family, his wife, Amber, and their children. The chaos of their everyday lives, the love that always simmered beneath their routines, and the hurdles they'd faced together. Amber had always been the rock of their family. From the very beginning, she had been the one to keep things together. Her presence was the steady pulse that kept their world turning, even when things got tough. Trent couldn't help but smile when he thought about how they'd met, how far they'd come since those early days. When he and Amber first crossed paths, it was a whirlwind, a story straight out of the movies, one that neither of them could have predicted. He remembered how easy it had been to talk to her, how effortlessly they had clicked. There was something magnetic about her, something that drew him in right away. Amber had always been a bit of an enigma to him, tough as nails on the outside, but warm and loving on the inside. She had a fire about her, an energy that made everyone around her feel alive. And in her eyes, Trent saw a future, something he'd never believed in before. Over the years, Amber had proved to be not just a partner, but also a mother who wore 1,000 hats. There were days when Trent would come home from work, tired and drained, and find Amber still going. Whether it was managing the kids' schedules, cooking dinner, or helping with homework, she was always on the go. Yet, despite the exhaustion that often hung over her, she never faltered. It was something Trent admired deeply about her. Thinking about it now, Trent realized how much Amber had shaped him, not just as a partner, but as a father. She had taught him to slow down, to appreciate the little things in life, the moments that made up their story. Sometimes, when the kids were asleep and the house was quiet, Trent would reflect on the life they had built together. It wasn't perfect, no family's life ever is, but it was theirs, and that was enough. But Amber's strength wasn't the only thing Trent admired. It was her ability to be both a disciplinarian and a nurturer. She knew when to be firm and when to offer a comforting embrace. She balanced their family with an almost supernatural grace, and Trent had to admit that there were days when he wasn't sure how she did it all. Then there were the kids, JJ, Anna, and the twins, Trent and Lizzie. Each one was a reflection of both him and Amber, yet each had their own distinct personality, quirks, and dreams. Trent often found himself marveling at how unique and special each of them was. JJ, the eldest, had always been his pride and joy. Trent could still remember the day JJ was born, how tiny and fragile he had looked, yet how determined he seemed. Over the years, JJ had blossomed into a young man with a heart full of compassion and a drive to succeed. Trent saw so much of himself in JJ, though the boy had inherited his mother's work ethic and sense of responsibility. It was impossible not to feel proud of how far JJ had come. Anna, their second child, was the free spirit of the family. She had an adventurous soul and a knack for getting herself into trouble. She was the one who kept everyone on their toes, always coming up with new schemes and plans. But despite her fiery nature, Anna had a heart of gold. Trent often found himself in awe of how fearless she was, how she faced each day with a smile and a willingness to take on the world. And then there were the twins, Trent and Lizzie. The two of them were so alike, yet so different. They had a special bond, a connection that Trent couldn't quite put into words. It was almost as if they shared a language that no one else could understand. Trent often found himself laughing at their antics, the way they would finish each other's sentences or come up with elaborate games and stories. But as much as they were alike, there were also differences between them. Lizzie was more reserved, thoughtful, while Trent had a bit more of his father's impulsiveness. Both, however, had inherited their mother's determination and her fierce love for family. Thinking about his children now, Trent couldn't help but feel a sense of pride swell in his chest. The Johnston family was far from ordinary. Sure, they had their challenges, their rough days, but they also had an unshakable bond, something that had been forged over time, through laughter and tears, and every little moment in between. Amber and he had worked hard to create this life for their children, one where love and loyalty were at the center. There were moments, too, when Trent would catch himself wondering what the future held for them. His kids were growing up fast, and the thought of them eventually leaving the nest made his heart ache in ways he hadn't expected. It was strange, this feeling of watching them change and grow. As much as he looked forward to the future and what each of them would accomplish, part of him wanted to hold on to the present, to freeze time. He wasn't sure if that was something every parent felt, but it was overwhelming at times. The realization that this moment, this time with them, was fleeting. But no matter how fast time moved, Trent knew that their family would always be a constant in his life. He thought about the moments that had shaped them, the late-night talks, the birthday celebrations, the quiet mornings spent in each other's company. These were the memories that defined them, that kept them grounded, no matter what the future held. Amber was the heart of their family. Without her, he wasn't sure where they would be. She had been through so much, challenges that most people could never imagine, and yet she always came out stronger on the other side. She was his partner, his equal, his best friend. Together, they had created something beautiful, something that had weathered storms and survived the toughest of times. And Trent knew that no matter what came next, Amber would be by his side, as she always had been. He could picture her now, standing in the kitchen, the scent of dinner filling the house, her laughter ringing out as she worked with the kids. It was in these moments that he felt most at peace, most content. The world outside could be unpredictable, even harsh at times, but within the walls of their home, in the chaos of everyday life, there was a sense of safety, of belonging. It was a comfort to know that no matter what happened, they would always have each other. That was the foundation of their family: love, loyalty, and an unbreakable bond. And in the end, that was all that mattered. The Johnston family, known from the popular TLC show 7 Little Johnstons, has captured the hearts of viewers worldwide with their unique story and the challenges they face. Trent and Amber Johnston, as parents to 5 children, have always been at the heart of the family. Their journey, filled with love, challenges, and triumphs, became even richer as they embraced the role of grandparents. As grandparents, Trent and Amber's lives have taken on a new dimension. Their transition from parents to grandparents wasn't as simple as just having more people to love. It was a deeply emotional shift, a reminder of the circle of life and the inevitable passage of time. Their children, who had once depended on them for guidance and support, were now starting families of their own, and the Johnstons were there to provide love, wisdom, and support in this new chapter. For Trent and Amber, the news of becoming grandparents brought overwhelming joy. When their eldest daughter, Anna, shared that she was expecting, the news was met with excitement, love, and a little bit of nervousness. The thought of becoming grandparents had always been in the back of their minds, but now, with the arrival of their first grandchild on the horizon, the reality of it was suddenly very real. Trent, known for his laid-back and humorous nature, found himself bursting with pride. He began dreaming of taking his grandchildren on fishing trips, teaching them how to throw a baseball, and sharing all the life lessons he had learned over the years. Amber, always the nurturing and thoughtful matriarch, was eager to spoil her grandchildren with love, homemade treats, and the special connection only a grandmother could provide. As the months went by and Anna's due date approached, the Johnstons prepared for the arrival of their new family member with both excitement and trepidation. There were many preparations to make, but the emotional journey of becoming grandparents brought an entirely new layer to their already strong family bond. The day Anna gave birth to her first child was nothing short of magical. Trent and Amber rushed to the hospital, their hearts racing with excitement and anticipation. When they first laid eyes on their granddaughter, it was a moment they would never forget. "I can't believe we're grandparents," Amber whispered through tears of joy as she held the tiny baby in her arms. Trent, holding back his own tears, looked at Amber and said, "We're doing this together, just like we've always done. I'm ready for this next chapter." The bond between grandparent and grandchild was instant, and the Johnstons' lives were forever changed. Anna and her partner were both grateful for the support from Trent and Amber, knowing that they would always be there, not just as grandparents, but as an unwavering foundation for their growing family. Being grandparents brought a new set of responsibilities and joys for Trent and Amber. They didn't want to simply be occasional visitors in their grandchildren's lives. They wanted to be actively involved. They wanted to share their wisdom, teach valuable life lessons, and be a constant source of love and stability. Trent, a man of simple pleasures, found immense joy in the small moments. Whether it was taking his grandchild to the park or simply playing board games at home, every experience was filled with laughter and learning. He made sure to instill a love for the outdoors and the importance of family traditions. Amber, on the other hand, excelled at creating memories. From baking cookies to telling bedtime stories, she found ways to make every moment special. She believed in teaching her grandchildren not only life lessons, but the importance of empathy, kindness, and understanding. Both Trent and Amber felt a deep sense of pride in their new roles, but it wasn't always without its challenges. As they balanced their personal lives with their responsibilities as grandparents, they realized just how much they had to learn from the younger generations too. Though their roles as grandparents were new, Trent and Amber never fully let go of their roles as parents. Their children, Anna, Jonah, Elazabeth, and their younger children, still relied on them for advice, support, and love. Navigating the balance between being parents and grandparents was something they had to adjust to over time. There were moments when they felt torn. They wanted to be there for their grandchildren, but they also needed to be present for their own children. Yet, through their experience, they discovered that the love and wisdom they offered their grandchildren didn't diminish the love and support they gave their own children. If anything, it only strengthened the family bond. Anna, now a new mother, often reached out to her parents for advice. Trent and Amber, having raised 5 children of their own, offered plenty of wisdom, though they didn't hesitate to tell Anna that every child was different and she would need to trust her instincts. They supported her with a delicate balance of guidance and encouragement, never overstepping but always present. As the months passed, Trent and Amber continued to cherish every moment with their grandchildren. There were countless weekends spent at their house, where the Johnstons created traditions that would last for generations. Trent would take the kids to his workshop, where he taught them how to build simple wooden projects. Amber would set up a craft table, and together, they would create art projects that would become treasured memories for years to come. The first time they took their grandchild to the beach was a special occasion. Trent, ever the adventurer, had already planned the day, packing a cooler full of snacks and drinks. Amber packed a bag full of toys and sunscreen. The kids played in the sand, built castles, and splashed in the waves. It was one of those moments that reminded Trent and Amber of the simple joys in life. As time went on, their grandchildren grew older and their relationships deepened. They celebrated birthdays, holidays, and milestones together, each occasion more meaningful than the last. Trent and Amber felt an incredible sense of pride in seeing their children become parents, and they cherished every second of watching their grandchildren grow up surrounded by the same love and stability that they had always provided. With each new addition to the family, the Johnstons' love only grew. As Anna and Jonah had more children, Trent and Amber were there every step of the way. The extended family, including Elazabeth, often gathered for holidays, reunions, and special events, and it became clear that the Johnstons were more than just a family. They were a tight-knit community that stood by each other no matter what. The family dynamics evolved as the grandchildren grew older and the older Johnstons aged. Trent and Amber remained actively involved in their grandchildren's lives. but they also made sure to cherish the quieter moments together, whether it was watching a movie, sitting down for a meal, or simply reminiscing about the past. Though the world around them continued to change, Trent and Amber knew that their family, both the one they raised and the one they were helping to shape, would always remain the center of their lives. The legacy they created was built on love, patience, and a deep understanding of what truly mattered: family. As Trent and Amber continue their journey as grandparents, the love they have for their growing family remains unwavering. Their role in their grandchildren's lives is not just about the special moments. It's about being a steady, loving presence through life's ups and downs. And as they look toward the future, they know that their bond with their children and grandchildren will continue to grow, bringing even more joy and fulfillment in the years to come. The Johnstons are a family of 7, and they live in Forsyth, Georgia. The family consists of parents Trent and Amber Johnston, along with their 5 children: Jonah, Anna, Elazabeth, Alex, and Emma. What makes this family unique is that all members, except for Trent and Amber, have achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism that results in shorter stature but does not affect intellectual development. The Johnstons have been a beacon of representation for the little person community, offering insight into the challenges and joys of living with dwarfism. 7 Little Johnstons first premiered on TLC in 2015, and over the course of its run, it has showcased various aspects of the Johnston family's life, from their parenting style to their efforts to help their children navigate school, relationships, and personal growth. The show has also highlighted the family's deep love and support for one another, making them an endearing and relatable presence for many viewers. While all of the Johnston children have unique personalities, Anna Johnston has undoubtedly captured the hearts of many viewers. Anna, the eldest child in the family, has often been portrayed as independent, driven, and a bit of a rebel. Over the years, fans have watched her grow into a young woman, navigating the ups and downs of adolescence, including relationships, career ambitions, and her desire for independence. Anna's journey on 7 Little Johnstons has been one of the most compelling aspects of the show. As the eldest child in a family with multiple siblings, Anna's experiences and challenges have been different from those of her younger brothers and sisters. She has shown that being a little person comes with its own set of challenges, particularly when it comes to relationships and dating. Throughout the series, viewers have watched Anna develop close bonds with her family while also striving for personal independence, often pushing the boundaries of what her parents and viewers might expect of her. Anna has also made strides in her personal life and career, and viewers have admired her ambition and determination to create a life that is uniquely her own. Whether it's her attempts to move out of her parents' house or her desire to pursue a career, Anna's growth as a person has been central to her storyline on 7 Little Johnstons. Her openness about the struggles she faces as a little person, particularly in romantic relationships, has endeared her to many fans. Her candid discussions about her desire for love, companionship, and the struggles that come with finding acceptance in dating have struck a chord with viewers who see aspects of their own experiences reflected in her story. Given Anna's popularity and her prominent role in the 7 Little Johnston series, it's not surprising that fans have begun to demand a spin-off show focused entirely on her. There are several reasons why Anna has become such a beloved figure in the eyes of viewers, and why a spin-off could be an exciting next step for her character. One of the most notable aspects of Anna's personality is her desire for independence. Over the course of the series, she has made it clear that she wants to carve out a life for herself away from the watchful eye of her parents. She has expressed an interest in moving out of the family home, pursuing a career, and, of course, finding love on her own terms. This desire for autonomy has resonated deeply with fans who admire her determination to live life on her own terms. A spin-off focused on Anna's journey as an independent woman could be an intriguing and relatable storyline for many viewers. It could give fans a deeper look into Anna's life as she navigates the challenges of adulthood, particularly as a little person. Fans are eager to see how Anna balances her independence with the love and support of her family, and how she handles the complex issues that come with being a young woman trying to make her own way in the world.